Welcome to the League of Women Voters Candidate Forum for the Naperville Park District. This event is being recorded. I'm Susan Craighead, President of the League of Women Voters of Naperville. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We do not support or oppose candidates for public office. You can rely on the League to present fair and civil candidate forums, where each candidate is allowed an equal chance to respond. All candidates were invited for this evening's event. Unfortunately, Natalia Dagenhart is under the weather and unable to attend. Local elections typically have a much lower voter turnout than presidential or midterm elections. Yet it is the local elections that have real consequences in our day-to-day lives. In many ways, our local officials have the most impact on our city, our quality of life, and our activities. I hope that your attendance here tonight means that you are making plans for how you will vote on or before April 1st. Please be reminded that Naperville Public Schools have their spring break during election time, and you may want to consider voting early. In addition to watching candidate forums live or recorded, you may also find candidate information in our online voter guide, vote411.org. All candidates have been invited to respond to questions, and their answers appear complete and unedited. A video of this candidate forum will be linked to Vote 411. And now let me introduce our moderator for tonight, Barb Lyman.
Thank you, Susan. Welcome to the Candidates Forum for Naperville Park District. My name is Barb Lymans, a member of the League of Women Voters of Wheaton, and your moderator this evening. I live in West Chicago, so I will not be voting for any of the candidates participating in the forums this evening. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that neither supports nor opposes candidates or parties for office. The League is not affiliated with any political party. The League's purpose is to promote civic responsibility through the informed and active participation of citizens in government and civil civic discourse. Providing opportunities to meet candidates is a major mission of the League of Women Voters, so voters can become better informed about the issues facing their community and to become better acquainted with the candidates running for office. I would now like to invite the candidates to turn on their videos. Participating in tonight's forum are candidate Ansier, candidate Balakrishna, candidate Jarrell, candidate Ruffing, and candidate Thompson. The format tonight is a forum and not a debate. Candidates are expected to accurately represent the facts, and their responses reflect their own views and opinions. The League of Women Voters is not responsible for the accuracy of statements made by the candidates. The candidates have agreed to abide by the rules set forth prior to the forum. All candidates attending tonight have signed and returned the ground rules by the deadline established in the invitation. These rules specify the format, time limits, broadcasting of the forum, and other rules related to the conduct of the forum. The candidates will begin in alphabetical order with their 1-minute opening statements. They will then alternate the order in which they answer questions for 1 minute. After the question portion of the forum, each candidate will give a 1-minute closing statement, continuing an alternating pattern. A member of the League will be acting as timer, excuse me, and I will enforce the time limits. Candidates will see a slide to let you know you have 30 seconds, and then 15 seconds, and then stop. Should a candidate exceed the time limit, I will ask them to finish their sentence and move on to the next candidate. To ensure that questions for tonight's forum represents a balance of topics, a panel of experienced members of the League of Women Voters has reviewed the questions submitted for appropriateness and to avoid duplication. Finally, I want to say how appreciative we are of the candidates who are not only willing to serve in office, but who have agreed to be here tonight to share their ideas and goals. So let us get started. Candidate Ansier, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you to the League for hosting us tonight. My name is Rhonda Ansier. I'm a current sitting member of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners elected in 2021. I'm a mother of two. I'm a nurse practitioner. I've lived in Naperville now for just about 10 years, and I got involved with the Park District because my kids are very heavily involved in it, and I thought it would be a great way to serve the community. Ever since I've been there, I've learned so much, and I'm just eager to learn so much more. I've attended conferences, met with leadership, developed good rapport with the team, and really want to have a lot of ideas to keep bringing forward that they've been really receptive to so far, such as starting something called the Commissioner's Challenge, some DEI type of initiatives. And I just really hope to continue some of that work and do even more.
Thank you so much. Candidate Balakrishna, your 1-minute opening statement.
Thank you so much. So my name is Aishwarya Balakrishna. I am a daughter of immigrants, and I've grown up here in Naperville and attended 204 schools for much of my life. By day, I'm a public health professional, and I'm currently focused on health promotion in the areas of substance use prevention and maternal and child health. I'm a graduate of Purdue University, and I also have a master's in public health from Benedictine University. And after completing my education, I have been working in public health, affecting outcomes directly right here in our community. Outside of work, I also do a lot of advocacy around public health, and I work with a lot of elected officials and community advocates and leaders to improve health outcomes and advocate. And throughout my life, I've been a beneficiary of the parks because I have grown up here and I understand the important role they play in the health of our communities. And so I want to continue to make sure they're accessible, inclusive, and affordable for all of our neighbors.
Thank you. Candidate Jarrell, your 1-minute opening statement.
Hi, my name is Zach Jarrell, and super excited to be here. Thank you for the invite. League of Women Voters is near and dear to my heart because I am surrounded by strong women. My whole family, the nucleus, has got a long history of leaders in our city, from teachers to principals to small business owners, and it's great to talk to you. For me, I'm a CPA. I have a strong financial background, 30 years in finance. I am a 5th-generation Naperville resident. I am an avid sportsman. I've got an adult. I'm the captain, or the coach of a soccer team. I'm a referee, certified referee. All the kids have gone through all the programs, so very excited to take this challenge. Never done a government before, so this is a check the box type moment for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Ruffing, your 1-minute opening statement.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting us this evening. My name is Leslie Ruffing, and I'm running for re-election to the Naperville Park Board. I've lived in Naperville with my husband and 2 daughters for over 12 years, and we chose to raise our family specifically in Naperville for its strong schools, libraries, and parks. I was first elected to the Park Board in 2021, and I've served as the board vice president since 2022. Professionally, I've spent over 15 years as a structured settlement annuity broker, where I was helping claimants manage their settlement funds. And then in 2022, I transitioned to the public sector, where I've gained valuable experience in public policy, negotiations, and community engagement. I genuinely care about ensuring that our park district continues to deliver the quality programs and services that make this community thrive. It has been an incredible honor to serve, and I hope to continue building on the great work we've done so far. Thanks again.
Thank you. Well, we'll begin our questions with candidate Balakrishna. And the question is this.
I'm sorry, I didn't get to introduce myself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I did it again. All right. So sorry. Okay.
Hi, I'm Alison Thompson, and I am so excited to be running once again for Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners. I grew up in Naperville and moved back here to raise our family with my husband. We are drawn here for the same reason that my parents were drawn here, because of the excellent schools, the sense of community, and of course our amazing park system. I was really looking for a way back in 2021 to give back, and the Park District just really made sense for me to get involved in. I used the Park District as a child, volunteered as a 18, was hired as a young adult, and used the parks and classes as a mom. I was elected in 2021 alongside 3 incredible other women, and we really changed the face of the board, from all men predominantly to women and mothers. In my professional life, I work in operations and administration at a tax firm, and I run my own part-time photography business. My kids keep me pretty busy with their activities, but in what little spare time I have, I love art, I love writing, and in another life I was going to become a playwright. The parks for me are really about a sense of community, a place where people of all different backgrounds can come together and recreate. So that's one of the main goals of mine, to keep that going.
Thank you. Well, now we'll begin the first question with candidate Balakrishna. And this is the question. Please describe the educational background, work experience, and other skills that uniquely qualify you for this position. So please describe the educational background, work experience, and other skills that uniquely qualify you for this position. Candidate.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the question. So as I mentioned in my introduction, I'm a public health professional, and that is really my focus in my candidacy coming into the Park District. Like I mentioned, I'm currently focused on health promotion and advocacy and health education. And I started my career in public health during the pandemic. So I was educating people about the pandemic, about the vaccine. And with this and having grown up here in the community and having been a direct beneficiary of the Park District and all of the amazing programs and public spaces it has to offer, I know how much the Park District contributes to health outcomes, not just physically, but mentally and social emotionally. So I really understand those connections there. And I do believe being also a young candidate with my background in public health, I can bring a new perspective to the board if elected.
Thank you. Candidate Jarrell.
Jarrell, you said? Sorry about that.
Yes.
All right. So as I mentioned, I'm a 5th generation Naperville resident. I went to Bradley University, graduated in accounting and Spanish degree. I studied in Guadalajara, Mexico, and Seville, Spain. A great experience. I consider myself proficient in Spanish. So it's a benefit to be able to communicate with some of our Spanish speaking residents. I am a CPA, as I mentioned. I currently manage a $250 million budget. I focus on controls and process and improving performance. This is in comparison to the $53 million budget for the Park District. I mentioned I'm a certified referee. I'm currently 50 years old. I've worked in finance for 30 years. My children are getting older. They don't want to hang out with me. So I want to be a role model for my children. I've always admired how great the Park District is. I don't think any of the current board members have the same financial expertise that I do. So I think that's a benefit. This is my time to give back to this great city.
Thank you. Candidate Ruffing, can you describe your educational background, work experience, and other skills that uniquely qualify you for this position?
Yes. So as I mentioned, I have over 15 years of a professional experience in the finance world. What I did is I helped develop. I helped with clients, advising them on budgeting and spending, and that work really informs overseeing the efficient use of Naperville resident tax dollars. Since I moved here, I've been a very active member of this community. I've been a PTA chairperson, I think, every year since my oldest started kindergarten. I'm a regular volunteer in the schools. And in fact, last year, I was asked to join the IPSD 204 Citizen Task Force, which helped guide the school district during their successful passage of a bond referendum. And then since being elected to the Park Board in 2021, like I said, I've served as board vice president. I am the board finance committee chair. And then earlier this year, I was awarded the IAPD board member development program recognition, which recognized, thanks.
Thank you. Candidate Thompson.
Yes, so with my background, I've come from a creative background, but now work in a very analytical world. So I think I work really well with a wide range of personalities and people, and I'm able to very much think outside of the box, but also apply it to real world situations, which I think is very unique to have in a person. I also have I mean, honestly, a lot of us, we have kids. Like we have kids who are using these programs, who are going to these parks, we're registering them. And I think that makes us very qualified. Um, and also with me participating in a bunch of different activities myself, where I've been doing magical starlight theater since I was a kid, and seeing it continue with my family and them up on stage, I'm able to really apply all those different experiences and things from my past growing up here to today. So thank you.
Thank you. And candidate Ansier.
Thank you. So I have been a nurse for 24 years, nurse practitioner for 5. Before that, I was a waitress. So basically every job I've ever had is involved in service. And so serving the community, working with people is my day to day, every day. I see all kinds of people. I've taken care of all different ages, different stages of life, different backgrounds. And so working well with people and being able to make decisions and help people make decisions that are best for their health also translates very well to working with the park district, because we're dealing with the people, the community, the public. And I work in the community health clinic right now. Education. I well, I have a nursing degree from Illinois Wesleyan University and my master's in nursing from Lewis University. Threw in a graphic design degree in between there, and so I also have a creative side, and I'm a creative thinker and problem solver as well.
Thank you. Well, the next question will begin with candidate Jarrell. What do you consider to be the most important issues facing the Naperville Park District right now? And how would you propose to address them?
All right, thank you. So for me, I don't see a ton of problem with our park district. I think it is awesome. And I'm not running on any platform to fix anything. There are some areas that I like to be a part of and to address as far as for the listeners to hear my thoughts. First is the obvious one is just fiscal responsibility. I'll challenge plans to ensure we follow process, get the best cost, most importantly, maintain a high ethical standard. The second one would be connected trails and preserving open space. You know, I'm lucky to live in Winding Creek. You've got the prairie on one side and the river path on the other. You can jump on a bike and go in any different direction. I am a big fan of that and expanding that as much as possible. And then the last one is just the indoor Publix pool. Big conversation, and we can talk about a little bit more in future questions here. Thanks.
Candidate Ruffing, what do you consider to be the most important issues facing the Naperville Park District right now, and how would you propose to address them?
I agree. We don't have any problems at all. Everything's perfect. No, I'm just kidding. So one of the big top issues with me, I like to say, is a commitment to the community. And I think that that's sort of a large bucket that covers a lot of very important things. The first being implementing, the results of that indoor rec space needs assessment that we did a lot of robust community engagement on last year. And it's now time to take those results and make a plan going forward. The Park District will go through strategic planning later this year, and it's really important to have experienced, dedicated leaders on the board to see that project go through. Keeping programs affordable while, of course, making fiscally responsible decisions is also a top priority for me. It's important to make decisions that will keep us in line and help us maintain that strong AAA bond rating. And then, of course, being supportive and championing environmental and sustainability, things like permeable pavers, electric golf carts, and shoreline restoration.
Thank you. Candidate Thompson, your thoughts?
Yes. So I think one of the number one concerns that we have at the Park District is honestly space and registration for people to get into programming. A lot of times our programs we have wait lists for them. Not everybody can get in. And the reason being is we just don't have the physical space or an instructor who can lead whatever the programming is. So I know that's something we're definitely taking a look at, looking at partnering with different private businesses to possibly use their space, partnering with the school district, or possibly in the future building a new space somewhere in Naperville that we could use for these programming. So I definitely think that is one of the main priorities that we're going to be focusing on in the next 4 years, is just getting as many people into those programs as we possibly can.
Thank you. Candidate Ansier.
Well, echoing some of the other candidates who are on the board with me now, the indoor needs assessment is definitely a big one. It was very exciting to get to help work on this year and learn about how they do these type of surveys and getting all the feedback from the community. Anytime we get community feedback, it's a benefit for everybody, because then we can see what people want and try to help them achieve that. So the indoor space is definitely a difficult one, because where is that space? Naperville's has a lot of things going on. So it's also a matter of making sure we're putting things in parts of the community that everybody can access, and not like focusing too heavy on like north side or south side, but just making sure that whatever facilities that we do have and programming that we do have, that is spread all the way across the community, so that everyone has access that makes sense and isn't a burden for anybody.
And Candidate Balakrishna.
Thank you. So yeah, I would echo a lot of what my fellow candidates have said. I do think that indoor needs assessment is the #1 priority, and implementing that into the new strategic plan that's going to be coming out in the next term. So, we really just need to make sure that our programming is continuing to meet the needs of our city and the residents. We want to make sure we can introduce new activities, make sure our programs remain affordable. We want to make sure everybody has a place in our programs. So, really implementing that and seeing what the community wants. And we know that they want to potentially have more indoor space. So we're going to have to look long-term on how that's going to be a long-term investment. My responsibility, or my priorities also include maintaining the fiscal responsibility of the Park District, which I think they've done a great job. So we want to maintain that. And also, again, promoting community health, introducing new initiatives around health and public health. And I do believe I have the expertise to implement some of that.
Thank you. The next question will deal with indoor recreational space. Some of you have already mentioned on it, and this will give you an opportunity to go in greater depth. So the question is this: what options, if any, do you support for the development of additional indoor recreational space? How would you fund them? And we'll begin with candidate Ruffing.
Simply put, I support what the people support. The great thing about this whole topic is it's completely led by our community. I mentioned that we went through a lot of public engagement last year, and we did that through online surveys, mailed surveys, many meetings with community leaders to really get a sense of not only what the community wants, but what they're willing to pay for. Because of course, any large new space, whether it's just an indoor field house or another Fort Hill or an indoor pool, will require us to go to a ballot referendum. So, like I said, the great thing is the people are going to decide. And what we are here to do is to make sure that that this whole process is transparent and really involves the public.
Candidate Thompson?
Yeah, so this indoor recreation space needs assessment took 2 key components into consideration. Number 1, the demographic analysis, like who the park district serves, and 2, the recreation trends analysis, what the community wants to participate in. So the survey not only asked residents what they want today, but also what they want to see tomorrow. It evaluated current populations for things like race, ethnicity, for age, for income, and projected those same populations 15 years down the road. So when we talk about like a comprehensive survey, this is what we're talking about here. And the survey did show that 48% of respondents were in favor of an average $60 to $85 a year tax increase to fund an indoor space. This is not something the board would make a decision on. This is something we would bring forward with a referendum. So like candidate Ruffing said, we would be asking the public, is this something actually you want, and get tons of feedback, not just the survey, before we proceed with anything.
Thank you. Candidate Ansier, what options, if any, do you support for the development of additional indoor recreational space, and how would you fund them?
Thank you. So yes, as other candidates have said, getting the public on board with it is the biggest part of it. This survey was statistically significant, so it really did give us a really good picture of what is needed and what is desired. As far as funding, other than ballot referendum, the board so far, as far as our finance department, who, they're the ones that manage the budget, and we kind of approve it, but they're really good about finding resources wherever we can, whether it's donations, whether it's partnering with other companies, private entities, sponsorships, grants. There's a lot of grants that they apply for different things. So pulling in as much of that as we possibly can. I mean, the Park District largely gets its funding from public money. So it's definitely something we have to be very careful with, and we've done a good job with that so far. So all of these things will have to be taken into consideration.
And Candidate Balakrishna, what are your thoughts?
Thank you. Yeah, so I was actually a respondent for this assessment, which was a really cool process. I want to commend the board and the Park District for a great process. I was also at multiple meetings where the results were presented. And again, as my fellow candidates have mentioned, per the assessment, community members really expressed the interest in indoor aquatics, and obviously indoor space is the greatest need from the parks facilities. And again, they were asked if they were willing to pay for it. But 48% said they would be open to paying $60 to $85 a year in property taxes over the next 20 years. Obviously, this process, again, as my fellow candidates have expressed, would be up to the voters. If we do a referendum and it passes, my priority is really going to be ensuring long-term maintenance of a good space that's accessible with fiscally responsible funding structures, and looking at public-private partnerships and grants so that we can offset some of the costs to the taxpayers, and looking at the solutions we can have with that. So I support what the voters want.
Candidate Jarrell.
All right, so yes, I think it's a resounding yes, all five. I think Natalia, she's not here, she's a yes too. I do support additional indoor space. You go to Fort Hill and you see how crazy it is, packed, it's awesome, the energy in there's amazing. We could see that ×2 in Naperville for sure. Primarily aquatics, which we've been talking about. I collected 800 signatures. I've knocked on over 4,000 doors so far, and there is a reoccurring commentary about indoor space and aquatics. Large project, you need a referendum. The cost to build has doubled over the last couple of years. We've already done a referendum in the past, I believe, and it did not pass. So at the end of the day, it's all about what the public wants, and the ability to pay for it. We can be creative, public-private financing. We've got a lot of very wealthy people in Naperville. Might be an opportunity to form a legacy and put somebody's name on the space, but overall, I think it can be done.
Thank you. The next question will begin with Candidate Thompson, and it's about green initiatives. What additional efforts, if any, are needed to support Naperville Park District's ongoing green initiatives?
So one of my favorite things about the Park District is that we frequently get the opportunity to preserve green spaces through land donations and our careful treatment of those donations. We have the ability to give the gift of nature to Naperville. We also have smaller initiatives, like I think candidate Ruffing mentioned the permeable pavers and parking lots. We have larger initiatives like shoreline restoration that both help sustain our environment and also provide beautiful, usable spaces for Naperville residents. Making changes like these and updating our current spaces to give more green infrastructure, such as permeable pavers, utilizing the solar power, really helps our community, our commitment to sustainability. We replace our gas vehicles with electrical vehicles when they go out of commission, whenever possible, and providing volunteer opportunities for removal of invasive species which within our parks, which can harm our parks as well. So through grants, through green initiatives, we're actually the leaders in the park districts.
Thank you. Candidate Ansier?
Yes, the Naperville Park District has won awards for its green initiatives, which is fantastic. And with anytime that the leadership comes to the board to present a new project or something that has to be replaced, that's one of the questions we always ask is, how can we make it more green? We just did a bunch of golf carts that were replaced to be electric. So getting that on board has been great. They always analyze, and we always ask too about the long-term cost of maintaining these things, and it always ends up being a better benefit in the long term. Even if the initial sticker price seems scary, over time it's always worth it. So the permeable pavers, there's something called green roofs that could also be developed, especially if you build something like a new facility. So any of those initiatives can be done, and definitely would be supported.
So candidate Balakrishna, what additional efforts, if any, are needed to support Naperville Park District's ongoing green initiatives?
Yeah, so again, I want to commend the Park District on the sustainability and green initiatives. I support all of them, and I love to see that we are a leader in implementing these initiatives. So, again, continuing to use natural and sustainable materials, maintaining natural areas and landscapes. I know there's a lot of pest control done to ensure we're protecting our essential wildlife. The shoreline restoration has been great. And again, I know with the shoreline restoration, we formed partnerships, again, with the DuPage County Stormwater Management Department. That's a great partnership. Really with the ongoing sustainability projects, I think the top priority is just really going to be continuing to advocate for them, and specifically advocating for grants and, again, public-private partnerships so that we can continue to implement these initiatives and continue to make sure they're a priority. And I do believe with my experience in advocacy, I can be an asset to making sure that happens. And this is definitely a top priority for me.
Thank you. Candidate Jarrell.
All right, so green initiatives. I am all in for anything that can help save our environment. And the main thing that I always want to just ensure that I impress upon anybody that talks about green initiatives is cost benefit. So we have a budget, and we have to make sure that we don't find more ways to spend our money as taxpayers. I told a story to this group on the last forum that my friend just bought a robot snowblower. It sounds amazing, and we'd love to have it, and it makes sense, but the cost of it was shocking. So I think for me, anything that has been said here, I'm all in on. It's all about the cost to do it, and then really the benefit.
Candidate Ruffing.
Yes, I'm really proud of everything that the Park District does in terms of green initiatives, but I think we can always be striving to do more. So as I mentioned, and I know plenty of others have mentioned it too, I've been very supportive of recent initiatives like replacing our fleet of golf carts at Springbrook with electric, which was a more cost-efficient option than gas carts. Another exciting new project is our new composting partnership with Loaves and Fishes with our gardens plots. And one particular environmental initiative that I'm especially proud of was last year I brought forth a Dark Skies resolution that was passed unanimously by the board. And what that does is it speaks to the lighting fixtures at night. And we want to make sure that those are only on when they need to be on and pointing down, because what it can do, it can help with the budget, it can conserve energy, and then it also helps protect local wildlife, fosters a healthier ecosystem, and improves the overall enjoyment of our night skies.
Excellent. The next question is going to begin with candidate Ansier, and it revolves around the budget. What, if any, changes would you make to align the budget with your priorities? Candidate Ansier?
Well, my priorities are the community's priorities, of course, and moving things around with the budget is something that we do discuss a lot on the board. If there are projects that we can put off for a certain amount of time to give another one that takes priority, we do always take those things into consideration and try to do those as well. One of the priorities I would like to see, if not with budgeting, at least with some sort of more support that we can get in a different creative way, would be to support our fee assistance program to make the parks even more accessible. We do fund it 100% every time, but it has seen an increase in usage. And so it would be great to see what we can do budgeting with that, whether it's doing more fundraising, doing more partnerships, trying to elicit donations from the public, anything we can do to better support that program, as well as continuing our support for the WDSRA, Special Recreation Association, and the programs that they bring and the assistance that they bring to our parks as well.
So candidate Balakrishna, what, if any, changes would you make to align the budget with your priorities?
Yeah, so as I've mentioned, one of my biggest priorities is, again, making sure we can leverage our parks and our programs to improve the health of our communities, and not just physical health, but also tackling issues like mental health and getting creative about that, because we know this is an issue that many of our residents are facing. So I really want to see some more investments in programming around mental health, chronic disease prevention, also for youth and for seniors. So, with this, I'm really looking into seeing how we can create new partnerships with organizations and nonprofits so we can address these challenges, and obviously reaffirming our existing partnerships. So definitely one of my priorities, as candidate Ansier mentioned, is the fee assistance program. We want to make sure that programs continue to be accessible for everyone with that program. And then again, reaffirming partnerships with WDSRA, the Western DuPage Special Recreation Association, so that individuals with disabilities and special needs get to fully participate in our parks and the programming, because making sure everybody has access is a priority.
Thank you. Candidate Jarrell, what, if any, changes would you make to align the budget with your priorities?
Yeah, so my priority is kind of the voice of the taxpayers. So I would like to ensure that we challenge our spend profile. I've heard common statements. I've heard it, actually within this part of our government, but then other parts of government, that we have remaining budget. How shall we spend it? It's not something that I agree with, right? If we have unspent budget, I propose we give it back to the taxpayers. I want to make sure we have a culture of accountability to the taxpayer. Some things I've noticed lately: replacing perfectly functioning playgrounds, adding hardly used workout stations to parks. This is signaling that we're searching for ways to spend money, and we're not pushing back on the status quo. I could be wrong, but that is why a financial mind would be good on the board.
Thank you. Candidate Ruffing, what, if any, changes would you make to align the budget with your priorities?
So I think it's important to remember that the annual budget is it's a really critical tool that not only the board but the staff uses to guide spending and budgeting throughout the year. Staff starts working on the annual budget months and months and months in advance. A lot of thought and effort and time is put into this annual budget, and those of us on the board know, we hear it all the time: we only ask for what we need. We never ask for more. And any adjustments to the budget would have to prioritize fiscal responsibility so that we maintain that AAA bond rating, because that reflects our community to long-term, our commitment, to long-term financial health, which of course will help set us up for any big projects that we have coming in the near future. Our job is not to align the budget based on our personal priorities, but to align it with the broader priorities that serve our community's needs, and staying true to our mission, vision, and values.
Well, and Candidate Thompson, what, if any, changes would you make to align the budget with your priorities?
So one of the things that we look at when we look at the budget is not only developing new spaces, but maintaining the spaces that we already have. Naperville has come to expect a certain level when they visit our facilities, when they visit our parks. And trust me, if a lawn is unmowed, we will definitely hear about it. The public is not shy in letting us know what they want. And I think one of the great things about the Park District is that we do have room in the budget we have some wiggle room, where if a resident comes to us and says, we would really like a basketball court in our park, we can respond to that, and we can respond to that fairly quickly, because our staff does such a great job allocating funds in different places and figuring out and thinking outside the box. So basically, I will echo what other people said. We are here for the taxpayers. We are going to obviously only take what we need to maintain the parks, to maintain the standard that Naperville has grown accustomed to. So that is how I would align the budget, and just making sure that those grants and those funds being applied are in line with what the voters want.
Thank you. Thank you welcome back, Candidate Balakrishna. I thought we had lost you. So in the next question is going to begin with you. Candidate Balakrishna, what, if any, program offering changes do you propose to address the needs and desires of the community? I believe she may be frozen. So while she's working out some technical difficulties, let's move on to candidate Jarrell. What, if any, program offering changes do you propose to address the needs and the desires of the community? Candidate Jarrell?
You broke up at the very end, but I haven't really thought about anything that I personally want to change in our offering. As I mentioned before, I think that our park district is awesome, right? I was born and raised here, and I watched it grow to what it is today. I think that you look at the book that gets handed out, I think it's gone virtual now. It's awesome. The amount of opportunity that we have to participate in any type of activity and sport and music, different things, it's amazing. I do not have any specific desire to change our offering.
Candidate Ruffing, what, if any, program offering changes do you propose to address the needs and desires of the community?
So what's so fun is new classes and programs are added all the time. I was actually registering my youngest for a theater camp for the summer, and I noticed that we put it right there in the program now, featuring new, there were new spring offerings like STEAM and coding and new day trips for active adults. So I think the park district does a great job of always looking to see what we can add to our lineup of programs. And in fact, we have a spot on the website that anybody can go to and let staff know what they would like to see. You know, and then we always want to make sure, though, that we're striving to, you know, offer diverse and affordable programming, including free events. I love all our free events in the summertime, especially like the children's concerts, the concerts in your park, and the movie nights. These are great ways for our community to have fun and have no cost.
Candidate Thompson, what are your ideas?
I feel like the park district is a reflection of its community. And when you have a community as large and diverse as Naperville is, you really need programming that reflects that. So as I have done in the past, I will continue to support diverse activities, diverse events that bring our community together, because the one thing we all have in common is we love to have fun. Like you find that clear across the board, no matter what background you come from. I would also support more inclusive programming, like WDRSA. They're an incredible partner that help more and more participants in Naperville be able to not only participate in the programming that you see in our spring programs or anything like that, but they also have their own separate programming that's really important for those community members. So basically, with the face in our heart being the community of the park district, we really need to reflect that, and I think that the programming should continue to reflect that as Naperville changes even in the future.
Candidate Ansier, what, if any, program offering changes do you propose to address the needs and desires of the community?
Thank you. So yes, the community of Naperville is very broad, very diverse, and we have so many different cultures and so many different age groups, ethnicities, everything that, you know, makes everything fantastic in the community. So programming, I really would like to invite and show up for a lot of different groups and activities that we can show up for them, such as participating in certain events. Like we did have some participation last summer in the Juneteenth event, whether it's India Day, Irish Day, parades, you know, all of those things. But reaching out to the community and saying, you know, what other diverse programs would you like to see? We do offer things like Bollywood dance and Taekwondo and things like that. So just reaching out even more and seeing, you know, do we need more cricket pitches? Do we need to do any other sports or dance or activities, or even just having a great international festival, which is a pipe dream of mine to have happen, but you know, meeting with the community about it.
Thank you. And candidate Balakrishna, what, if any, program offering changes do you propose to address the needs and the desires of the community? I think she is frozen again. So if you all don't mind, should she come back on, we'll ask her that question when she returns. But in the meantime, let's start with candidate Ruffing and our last question for the evening, the public. Regarding the public, what efforts can the Park District Board make to educate the public about its mission, functions, and responsibilities?
Oh, I love this. Oh, sorry. I love this question. I think the Park District really understands how important that is. So, for example, when we, every year we have a capital projects open house. We invite the community to come to Fort Hill, and we have everything on display and staff on hand and board members, so the public can ask us whatever they want. As we've said with the community engagement, as we went through the indoor rec space needs, the community was heavily involved. We recently updated our website to make it more accessible for the community. You can translate it into hundreds of different languages. So I love that question. It's really important to keep the public in the know of what we're doing. We have 2 open meetings every single month that the public can come to. So I think there's lots, and our emails are on the website public. So there's lots of ways to find out what's going on.
Candidate Thompson?
Did we want to go back and let candidate Balakrishna answer that? Because it looks like she's with us again.
I
Or are
think
we
we'll
going to
go
do that
this
after?
round, and then before we close, I'll ask her that question.
Okay, absolutely. Just wanted to double check while we had her.
Thank you.
So with I love how the Park District is an open book. Like I said before, with the basketball court and people coming and to ask for it, and then our staff immediately leapt into action and were able to give that to them. So one of the ways that candidate Ruffing mentioned was coming to our meetings. Please come talk to us. We don't ever have anybody come talk to us. Please give us ideas. Let us know what you want. We love input. Our emails are out there. We live stream. We stream our meetings on YouTube as well, so you can watch it. Usually it's just my husband and kids watching it, so maybe you guys could watch it as well. We also do press releases. We have open houses for people to come give us input. We try to be as visible as the QR codes in the parks. I mean, the staff finds such creative, amazing ways to connect with the community. And I still feel like there's more we could do and to get out there. So, you know, we have advertisements in various places, things like that. So I think just continuing in all those different avenues is the best way.
Thank you. Candidate Ansier, what efforts can the Park District Board make to educate the public about its mission, functions, and responsibilities?
Thank you. Visibility is definitely one of my, core principles during this re-election period. Keep your eyes on the Park District. Watch us, see what we're doing, see what we're offering you. I helped create the Commissioner's Challenge this year, which was a way for commissioners to really get behind a lot of the park programs, especially the free events and programs, and show how we're utilizing it with our families and encouraging people to do the same. So we also have launched a lot more. We have a social media expert now who does fantastic Instagram posts. We have a new drone that they're going to use to do some really cool aerial photography and videos to put out there for people. It's very exciting. So constantly changing with the times and meeting the needs of everybody is definitely something the Park District has been really good about, sending out mailers when you need to for things, especially for surveys. But yes, definitely coming to the meetings, talking to us. People do come sometimes and let us know. So keep it up.
Okay, and we're going to go right to candidate Jarrell, waiting for candidate Balakrishna to log back in. So candidate Jarrell, what efforts can the Park District Board make to educate the public about its mission, functions, and responsibilities?
Everything that everybody said is amazing. You know, all the languages and all the different technology that we use, and the boards being so, board meetings being so open. An idea that I had to engage the public at a more personal level is that there's people that are passionate about all the various, activities, from fishing to ping pong to whatever. And you can have an annual event, and you could get to the 2nd annual and the 10th annual and the 20th annual, and it'll be part of like the history and the tradition of our city. And if you can get the people that are super passionate to really kind of organize it with the Park District being the platform, with the website and the space. But the people that are passionate about fishing have a fishing tournament. You could have T-shirts for the winner, and I was the first year winner, in the ping pong tournament. And I know we have, the golf tournament, different things, but you can expand it and get more engagement.
Great, thank you. Candidate Balakrishna, are you with us? Can you?
I am. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what's happening with my internet right now. It keeps cutting out. I tried to reset it, so hopefully we can get through the rest of this. I apologize.
We've all
no.
been there. We've all been there.
No worries. We have gone through 2 questions. So the candidates have agreed to have you answer these questions by yourself because they have already answered them, all right? So the first question is, what, if any, program offering changes do you propose to address the needs and the desires of the community? Oh, I think she's frozen once again. So I hope everyone will have an opportunity to ask her those questions when they see her around the community. But I'm going to move on now to closing statements. And so we'll begin with candidate Ruffing. You have 1 minute for your closing statement.
So thank you again to the League of Women Voters for hosting us tonight. Thank you to all those tuning in, and then thank you to my fellow candidates who took the time to be here tonight. So as we look to the future, I remain dedicated to preserving and enhancing what Parks and Recreation brings to our community, from open green spaces that foster connection with nature and one another, to diverse, affordable programs that enrich lives, with our park district experiencing both strong community support and high levels of engagement right now. Experienced and committed leadership will be essential. It's important to have dedicated leaders on the board so that we can ensure that our programs and facilities continue to evolve with the needs of our residents, while upholding, of course, the quality and accessibility that make our park district truly a cornerstone of Naperville. Once again, I'm Leslie Ruffing. I am #1 on the ballot. I ask for your vote on or before April 1st, and you can visit my website at lesliefornapervilleparks.com for more information. Thank you again.
Thank you. Candidate Thompson, your 1 minute closing statement.
So I've had the unique opportunity to see Naperville grow and change into the diverse world-class city that it is today, and I want to continue to help it grow and change. With my diverse work background, I can work well with varying personalities within a board and staff, which is key for an organization to succeed. I'm also a mom and in the thick of registering my kids for park district programs and taking my children to the parks. We utilize the pathways to take our dog on a walk, attend the free events, et cetera, et cetera. So we're huge users of the park district. Beyond that, I feel like, to me, the park district serves as a way for the community to grow closer together because it's such a great equalizer. People of all ages, backgrounds, ideologies can connect together in recreation. And I can't think of a better way to give back to this community than to encourage that ideal.
Thank you so much. Candidate Ansier, your closing statement.
Thank you. Thank you again to the League of Women Voters for hosting us tonight. As I mentioned earlier, visibility, community building, and inclusivity are the top priorities for me going forward with a re-election, hopeful re-election to the Park District Board. The first 4 years are really spent just learning so much about how park districts are run, how the staff really works together, and in learning so much now, I feel like I'm really ready to go even further and push even further with everything that I've learned from, speaking with leadership, from going to conferences, from learning from other park districts and seeing what else can we do to make ourselves even greater as a park district. I'm community service minded. It's a part of my job, and it's been my entire life, is to work with the community, work with people and serving people. That's all I know. So I would really love to have everyone's support on or before April 1st. I'm #5 on the ballot, and my website is ansierfornaperparks.org.
Great. And Candidate Balakrishna, we've moved on to closing statements, and I know you feel terrible that you missed the answers to 2 questions, but perhaps you'd like to give us your closing statement right now.
Yes, I apologize. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm not sure what's happening with my internet, but I'm so sorry. But yeah, just to give a closing statement, as I mentioned, I've grown up here in the community and I've used the Park District for years. I'm currently a participant in Park District program, the Bollywood dance class, which has been an amazing experience. And I just want everybody to have the amazing experiences that I've had through the Park District and my family has had through the Park District. With my public health background and my experience in advocacy and working collaboratively to improve health outcomes, I do believe I can bring a new perspective to the board. And I'm also the youngest candidate in these 2025 elections. And so I really want to bring a new perspective to the board and bring about new ideas and initiatives to implement and make sure all of our residents feel a sense of community and belonging in every park and every program that they participate in.
Great, thank you so much. And Candidate Jarrell, your closing statement.
Am I last? I think I'm last. Or wait, Candidate Thompson is last. Anyway, it's great being here. Thanks for the invite. I do think that I'm not the youngest candidate. I might be the oldest candidate. So I have a lot of history to bring. Born and raised in Naperville, avid sports fan, and most importantly, certified public accountant, deal with budgets all day long. And I think it would be a great add to this board. I really love this town, and I love the Park District. I love everything that it entails. I've never been a part of a government. I'm not really a political guy. I'm actually frustrated with national politics, and I'm frustrated that national politics comes into our area. You know, changing HR policies and doing all these things that are just interesting. You know, at the end of the day, we should be focusing on our parks and our trails and those type of things. So that if you're interested in that, I'm your candidate.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the community, thank you all for being with us this evening. Our democracy thrives when all of us are engaged. Attending or watching a candidate forum is an excellent way to be empowered to join the discussion on local issues and make your voice heard on Election Day. We hope that each and every one of you will vote and inspire your family and friends and neighbors to do the same. Information on how and when to vote can be found at vote411.org and on the League of Women Voters of Naperville website and social media. We hope that you will take advantage of early voting, which starts March 17th, since Election Day, April 1st, falls during spring break. Recording of this forum for Naperville Park District can be found on the Naperville League of Women Voters YouTube channel. So I want to say good night, and to the candidates, best of luck to you on the campaign trail. Good night.